Welcome to Beyond the Spiritual Nexus, your cosmic connection. I'm your host, Diana Rose.
And I'm Xandra. Welcome back to Cosmic Monday, where we like to talk about all things mystical, magical, and supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're opening a portal into a concept so universally comforting that almost every culture across time has reached out to touch it. Guardian angels.
I'm sure everyone out there, Xandra, has felt at one time or another, perhaps like a feeling like they shouldn't be going a certain place, or have this little voice on their shoulder that say, "Oh, don't go with that person." This could be angelic presence. But where does the actual history of these celestial beings begin? As it turns out, human civilization has been tracking these unseen protectors and seen protectors for thousands of years. Because sometimes, Sandra, they make their presence known visually, and other times they don't.
So if we want to get into like the roots of this, we got to go back, like way, way back, way before we had classical paintings depicting winged guardians watching over children, you know?
Yes.
The concept actually seems to have started in ancient Mesopotamia.
Yes. You know, over 4,000 years ago, people in Sumer and Babylon, they believed in personal guardian deities called the Shedu or Lamun. They believed that these spirits walked with them and that they acted as intermediaries between themselves and the unseen. They were not abstract concepts.
No. And you really you can't talk about this without mentioning like the development of theology in the Mediterranean. Plato, the Greek philosopher, wrote about it in the Republic, which was a really foundational text about justice. In that, he introduced the concept of daemons, which those are personal spirits that are assigned to each soul before birth, and they choose to lead us through our earthly destiny.
Yes, that's true. But the modern blueprint we think of today actually, I believe, really solidified during the Middle Ages, like in the 5th century. There was a text called The Celestial Hierarchy that mapped out the angelic realms into the 9 distinct orders or choirs. You know, you have the heavenly counselors, the governors, and the heavenly messengers.
Right. So the counselors, I believe, are the highest order. So that was your seraphim and cherubim.
Yes.
And then the messengers, that was the lowest choir, but at the bottom, I guess you could say, was the angels, right? Those are the ones tasked with connecting with humanity. And by the 12th century, theologians declared that each soul is committed to an angel upon birth. People believed that they had a celestial bodyguard standing to their right side by that point.
Hence guardian angels.
Yep.
Now, it's one thing to talk about theology, but I think that where our listeners would find it most interesting, the topic would be most interesting for them, Xandra, is in the recorded accounts, you know, people's experiences. Because for centuries, people didn't just believe in guardians. They documented what they have seen, what they have experienced, you know, the interventions of these heavenly beings.
Right. Okay, so let's go all the way back, right, to the year 304 AD.
Okay.
And we're going to visit the ancient city of Caesarea.
Yes, I love that story.
And there we'll visit the story of Saint Julietta. Now, according to classical accounts preserved from that era, she was condemned to execution by fire.
Yes.
But when the flames were lit, a towering figure with white wings appeared, and directly in the center of the pyre. There they deflected the heat and fanned the flames away. So she went untouched ultimately.
Completely untouched. These shields, they don't just exist in the ancient archives. They have shown up in modern days. All over Zendra.
Mm.
There are people all over who have had uh, angelic presence and connections or interventions.
Mhm.
Uh, Remember that documented account of John Boston,
Mhm.
Pastor John Boston,
Mm.
in 2015? He was
Mm.
driving down the road in Columbus, Ohio, when a
Mm.
sudden
Mhm.
car crash
Yeah,
sent a live electrical transformer crashing directly into his vehicle. Do you remember that story, Sandra?
I do. I do remember. And what I recall is that when it hit, he was strapped inside
Yes.
and the car caught fire. So
Mm-hmm.
the windshield began to melt,
Mm-hmm.
and the car doors were crushed shut.
Yes, they were
So
unopenable.
there was no physical way out.
No,
He
no,
was,
he was stuck.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he was at the mercy of the flames.
Mm-hmm. But before the first responders arrived, uh, he said that a stranger walked right up to the burning car and effortlessly
Mm.
pulled that crushed door open. Could you imagine that, Sandra? How strong that person would have had to be to just
Mhm.
pull open those doors that were crushed in?
Okay.
And he dragged Boston to safety and then told him that he had to leave because he couldn't be there when the police arrived.
Mhm.
And he then disappeared, seemingly to just vanish into thin air. And Boston, still to this day, credits his survival to a guardian angel.
Mhm. And that account actually reminds me of another from 1572.
Oh, you like the ancient one, Sandra.
I do. There's too much information up here.
Mm-hmm.
Maximilian de Bethune. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes.
That was King Henry IV's advisor. Now, before he was his advisor, obviously he was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And in his teen years, he was cornered by a armed mob in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And story goes, a stranger dressed in white silk stepped between the boy and the mob. Now, reportedly, this stranger exuded a presence so commanding that the entire crowd, which you'll remember was armed,
Yes.
well, they froze and they let the boy go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, when Maximilian turned to thank him, the stranger had vanished.
If that is not divine intervention, Sandra, I do not know what is.
Mm.
So it's a little wild. If
Mm.
you think about how the ancient and modern details kind of match, like the famous third man factor.
Mm.
That's often reported by extreme athletes or, you know, people who do things for a thrill or live on the edge, Sandra. They all have frequently reported that when they have gotten to the point of their human limit,
Mm.
that they would be joined by a companion that would materialize beside them and that would give them the exact help that they needed, that they were in need of,
Mm.
only to disappear the moment that they were safe. So, whether it's white silk in 1572 or presence on an icy peak, the patterns are the same. Divine intervention. Okay, everyone, it's time to look up at the skies and let's look into our cosmic currents, where we break down the current lunar cycles, planetary alignments, and the energies surrounding us on this cosmic Monday.
So, for all of our moon magic practitioners out there, the sky tonight is handing us a beautiful little canvas to paint some protective ritual work on.
Mhm.
Today, July 6th, the moon is in the intuitive water sign of Pisces, sitting in its waning gibbous phase just one day before it hits the exact third quarter mark.
And let me tell you, this is a very potent window, everyone. You don't want to miss it for releasing any negative energy.
Mhm.
So, if anyone out there doesn't know or they're not sure, waning energy is all about, shedding, clearing, releasing, banishing any, all and any heavy energy that you may have been feeling or experiencing. So while Pisces thins the veil between us and our unseen guides, layer that with the Cancer Sun sitting in a strict reality check alignment with Saturn today, it is the universe asking us to anchor our spiritual experiences into concrete, everyday practices.
Now, you're probably wondering, how do we use this moon magic to connect with our guardian
Well, we're
angels?
going to tell you.
We've put together a simple but still very powerful waning moon guardian ritual for you to do tonight under the Pisces sky.
All you will need is a white candle, just one, a small piece of paper, and a bit of sea salt. First, you're going to sprinkle the salt in a small circle around the base of your candle, and this is going to represent a shield, kind of like the ones we talked about earlier.
Hmm. On your paper, write down one specific fear or anxiety or just something heavy that you've been carrying that makes you feel unsupported or unprotected.
Mhm.
Light the candle, and as you watch the flame, visualize your guardian angel taking that weight away from your shoulders.
Hold the paper over a fire safe dish and let it burn, letting the waning Pisces moon take that and turn it into absolute nothingness. Let it take all that heavy energy and turn it into nothing. As your fears, anxieties, and worries burn away, repeat this phrase: I release the armor I no longer need, for I am eternally protected from above.
To finish the ritual, let the candle burn down safely. This moon phase is reminding us that we don't have to fight every battle alone. Sometimes clearing space is how we let our guardians step in and do the heavy lifting for us.
So now that we have fully integrated these heavy cosmic shifts and we've grounded our celestial protectors into our physical space, everybody, let's close out our journey today with my favorite segment, our ritual of tea and tarot. Sandra, what are we brewing today to
Well,
hold this beautiful Pisces energy?
well, we're keeping it simple and cozy today. So I have a blend of chamomile and elderflower.
Mm, sounds delicious, Sandra.
Now, everyone knows chamomile is the ultimate cure for a stressed out day, but elderflower actually has this amazing history in old folklore for protecting your energy and clearing your head. So, together, they're hopefully the perfect mix to quiet a racing mind and help you tap into that deeper gut instinct.
And it is actually the perfect combination, Sandra, for that. It really is. So while you're going to go ahead and serve up our tea, I'm going to give this deck a really good shuffle. And let's see what message our listeners need to hear today. Something that will help them feel more grounded and protected as they head into the rest of their week. Hmm. Oh, Xandra,
Hmm?
it's the Seven of Swords. It's reversed, but it is the Seven of Swords reversed.
Okay, Seven of Swords. Sorry, my stomach is growling. I was just complaining I wasn't hungry too. Well, Seven of Swords. So, usually when this card is right side up, it's all about feeling like you have to sneak around or carry a heavy burden all by yourself. But when a card is in reverse, that can and usually is
Mhm.
a sign of receding energy,
Yes.
meaning that feeling of being alone is ending. So, Seven of Swords in reverse is like a huge sigh of relief. It
Mhm.
basically means that you can stop being so hyper vigilant.
Mhm.
You don't have to keep your guard up 24/7 or
Mhm.
try to constantly outthink every single problem because you've got unseen forces looking out for you.
Yes. Heavenly forces may be from above.
Who knows?
That's a great note to end on today. A gentle reminder that even when things feel heavy or completely up in the air, remember you're being supported from somewhere up above. You don't have to navigate any of this on your own.
And that looks like all the time we've got for today. So, thank you so much for hanging out in the Nexus with us. As you move through your week, try to pay a little closer attention to the subtle whispers, the
Mhm.
synchronicities, and the quiet spaces.
Yes.
History shows us that we've always known someone is watching over us.
So, if this episode brought you some comfort, pass it along to a friend who appreciates a little bit of history and
And
a
a
little
little
bit
bit
of
of
magic.
magic.
If you enjoyed sitting down with us at the table today, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a quick review.
But before we head out, we really want to hear from you. Our favorite part of creating this space is building community, a literal nexus, if you will. And that means bringing your voices onto the show.
Absolutely. So, if you've ever had a angelic experience, we want to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever had a wild spiritual coincidence happen to you, we want to hear from you. If you've had an unexplainable experience with anything metaphysical, we want to hear from you. Or maybe you might just have a burning question about tarot, astrology, or maybe even energy work. We want to hear from you.
If you would like for us to hear from you, you can email us your stories or send a short voice note directly to hello@spiritualnexuspodcast.com. That's hello@spiritualnexuspodcast.com. We'll be sharing your experiences and answering your questions in upcoming episodes.
Thank you again for stepping into the Nexus with us today on this beautiful Cosmic Monday.
Until next time, protect your peace, stay grounded, and take care of each other. We'll see you again in the Nexus.
Peace out, everybody.